With an utterly refreshing mix of Eastern and Western influences, Gangsta manages to capture the highlights of both worlds effectively with its unique mafia story with fantasy elements precisely thrown in to give it an edge over similar series like Black Lagoon or Dramon Gun. It's cool and confident, and ambitious enough to amply demonstrate polished character writing with a heavy filter of a stylistic mix of grit layered onto it. The series is often loud and dramatic in its execution, but this isn't the same thing as not understanding subtlety. Gangsta simply knows when to hold back and when to swing for the fences, and when it swings, it swings often, it swings hard. Although, sometimes that swing is too fast and skips over minor details that would help portray plot points with the weight they deserve, and although that's quite a problem with a gritty series such as this, I feel as though this adaptation can improve on it, especially with the fluid direction of the Ergo Proxy director Shuko Moreze. Anyways, I kinda feel as though I just skimmed over the more fantasy bits of Gangsta, so I actually created a real-life demonstration to more easily convey it. Yeah, essentially that. Trust me on that one. Except, you know, a little bit less magical girl and more grit, but details. The narrative follows our dynamic duo of Nick and Warwick as they earn their livelihood as Benria in a city full of crime, doing basically any job asked of them. It's one of those series that just seems to keep on constantly moving, not with any particularly expedient pace or determined endgame in mind, but with just enough character intrigue and worthy ideas bubbling beneath the surface to hold momentum. Gangsta's guaranteed to be at least worth a shot, and also Gangsta's spelled with an A, so you know it means business. Concept isn't everything, it's all about the execution on the concept that matters, and Maeda sure has an ostentatious concept when just glancing at the synopsis or reading a couple chapters of the manga. Essentially, it's about a world where all references to anything perverted and dirty have been outlawed, but our heroes are rebels who break into shopping centers distributing hentai magazines and shouting "Dick in the pussy!" at police officers to frighten them. And you guessed it, this premise is basically a copy of Hideaki Anno's life before he made Evangelion. Wait, what's that sound? Oh, fucking Anno, seriously? Again? Really?
So fucked up.
And that's how Anno created Evangelion. More seriously, there's actually something to this. From the chapters I read, its script was superbly composed of clever wit and social satire. The absurd certainly entertaining in its own right, if executed with enough consistent finesse, but that's definitely not the show's end-all be-all. The absurd is referencing something, satirizing something. Satire uses the often ridiculous, but always the comedical and sometimes even the surreal to make a critical statement about something or someone. In this case, it's about modern society. Sometimes, these most preposterous of concepts make for the most genuine of political and social satire. What makes this particular satire work is a deliberate and almost surreal detachment from anything resembling self-serious reality. And even if this whole thing is dropped rather quickly, the comedic antics are all so diverse and unpredictable enough that the series can carry itself with that alone. Hopefully the bizarre nonsensicality never lets up, as it could possibly get dry fast, but Maeda has the chance to build its ludicrous ingredients into some legitimately genius satire, and regardless of whether or not it'll achieve that, it'll still be one of the best comedy, and maybe one of the most intriguing shows of this season. Roka appears to be tailor-made for me and just fantasy fans in general, with its Fox Mayan aesthetics filtered onto what looks to be a rip-roaring adventure full of visual delights and engaging set pieces and a consistent sense of fun and energy. And I've been feeling in the mood for a breezy and fun adventure lately, and Roka looked to be the show to satisfy that, but then I started reading the novels. My expectations were completely flipped in the best way possible. It just appears to be a typical action fantasy adventure, but then the fantasy elements serve only to provide the setting and to expand the number of possible plot twists. It's nearly a full-blown mystery, as shocking as that is. It's terribly suspenseful, and it has one of my favorite composers, Michiru Oshima, to back up that suspense with her tracks. And then really no one else of significance is on the staff. So the main thing backing Roka's potential is the source material itself. And well, the novels have got this seemingly careless but clearly not mix of wild creativity and precision and execution that makes it about as immediately rewarding as a mystery adventure story can be. The less than desired variables exist solely to justify its more daring set pieces, which come a lot with the distinctive Mayan-esque setting, which Roka consistently takes a moment to reflect on. It'd be a waste to not with such an anomalous, beautiful world. The narrative plays out so eccentrically that the new elements of the world are constantly being discovered by the reader/viewer, expanding the weight of Roka's mysteries even further. Don't overlook Roka this season. Indulge yourself in Roka's mysteries and the mystery that is Roka itself. Probably the most interesting thing about Gate is the kind of mindset it tries to appeal to. It's a story that very clearly knows it's a work of fiction, and makes the most of that with its interesting premise. Essentially, one day, a giant gate appears in the middle of Tokyo, and on the other side of it is a fantasy world. And the contrast between the modern world to a world as fantastical and known as Gate is sensational, and that disparity between modern and fantasy continually gives Gate's setting even more delicious flavor. And thankfully, the gate has appeared in my very room, so I can give you a close-up, detailed look into the world beyond the gate. Let's go! Huh? Where am I? What is this 3D shit? What? No! This was supposed to be an anime girl paradise. What happened? Oh, hey! You! Hey! Hey! Hey, listen to me! Hey! Yeah, you're Japanese, right? Where the fuck is the anime? Where the fuck are the anime girls? Oh! That was an odd dream. Back to what I was originally saying, Gate brutally shifts its tone and it's awful, I love it. Going from brutal murder to drinking tea to fighting a dragon to talking about otaku culture to the President of the United States trying to kidnap the residents of the gate while they're at the hot springs. It's so entertainingly trashy in the most fascinating way possible. It's undeniably an overly messy series, but that's actually part of its charm. Part fantastical adventure, part subdued character drama, part modern military insight, part societal critique. All ridiculous. Rory Mercury, please step on me! It's just endless, dumb, outrageous fun. Gate has a weird collection of strengths, and an even larger arsenal of issues. But an engaging piece of work doesn't need to lack flaws to be effective at what it is, and Gate knows exactly what it is. You know, I was feeling kinda hungry, and thankfully the third season of Working is here to deliver a large plate of light, easily digestible entertainment. You know, I sorta have a special attachment to Working. It solidified my adoration for the medium back when the first season started its broadcast in 2010 and I was first getting into anime. And I really appreciate it for that small push forward it gave me into the rest of the anime medium. But to be fair, it did push me down a staircase. I mean, but it's still, like, a push. Sentiment aside, the director changed, again. This time it's Yumi Kamakura, who hasn't done much of significance, but I'm not really worried as Working isn't the type of show that requires much creative direction. But it could really benefit from it, and maybe Kamakura will surprise us. Anyways, onto the actual show. Taking place in a small family restaurant by the name of Wagnaria, it focuses on the employees there, and the diversity of the comedic scenarios that come from this cast of weirdos all being put into a single building together. Everything from its characters' personalities to their cute relationships to the situational comedy is a welcome departure from similar series that fall prey to a succession of repetitive jokes. Elegantly balancing a delightful cast of oddballs and smart insightful writing and joke timing made for an unrelenting barrage of great comedy. And also its really endearing attitude is worth the title of grounded. And its always fresh comedy material makes me glad that, even though it's been a few years, I'm going to be dining in the renowned Wagnaria once again. And I highly encourage you to go try out the first two meals before joining me for the third. The sequel that no one was waiting for but me and a few other people whose taste has taken a steep nosedive into the category of shit. But hey, we gotta stick together, right? I mean, we don't want to be caught by the shit taste, please. That's a fate no one uses, huh? I can't believe they found me. Was it because of all the anime girl figures I was ordering? No, that couldn't be it. My post to 4chan? No, it doesn't matter. Oh man, I stepped in some dog crap. Ew, I gotta get away. Save me, anime girl goddesses. No, not you, Kirino, fuck off. Oh, that's more like it. Save me, please. What? Where am I? Oh, I see. In exchange for my life, I've become my taste in anime. Oh, is that to love Rue? Nom 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 nom. Well, I should probably, delicious, finish that video, even though I'm a trash can now. Anyways, To Love Rue, in my opinion, is the best ecchi series. It actually has some nuance to its character interactions and doesn't exist solely for the sake of being its genre, ecchi. And it does this while still keeping up the appeal on that front and being intriguing with its plot developments on the other fronts. and also boobs. Key, the name of a certain visual novel company that unlocks the parts of people's memories that contain some of their favorite works done by them, like Air, Clannad, Little Busters, Angel Beats, and the criminally overlooked Rewrite, etc. The main writer for these is Jun Maeda, a man renowned for his writing talent and considered a pioneer of the visual novel medium. And now, I like Jun Maeda. I like Jun Maeda quite a bit and definitely like a lot of his works, but I definitely do not hold him on as high a pedestal as many others seem to do. I think he has good ideas, but the needed execution on those ideas tends to fall short, at least when condensed to a single curve. But his works do tend to have great emotional peaks no matter what, but reaching those peaks is always a rough climb through a snowstorm full of uncertainty about whether the climb is actually worth the effort. But when you finally ascend to the very top, that peak is nearly always brimming with multifaceted characters and a long line of iconic moments. Slow build-up is a main pillar to Maeda's writing. It takes its time getting to the meat of the conflicts to allow previous character work to pay off in the key moments, making the emotions feel earned. Maeda's stories also constantly lean towards normal-appearing drama with fantastical elements blended in, which usually makes for a fairly grounded story within a larger speculative fiction world. And I'm glad Charlotte seems to be just that, because I can easily get behind those types of narratives. And combined with PA Works' beautiful aesthetics, the creative flair of a newbie director, and Jun Maeda's poignant writing, Charlotte is emerging confident and fully constructed right out the gate. Now hopefully that confidence isn't just a clever facade. I love Prison School. It's shamelessly stupid, but at least it's honest with what it wants to be. By simply embracing the inherent lunacy of the situations and variables involved, Prison School was able to be simultaneously funny and actually exciting simply by committing 100% to its own conceit. The dissonance between how silly the concepts are and how seriously the story takes itself elevated the comedy even further than the elevator in the Empire State Building. On paper, Prison School, shockingly enough, is about a prison within a school. I won't say much more than that as to not ruin my favorite manga for those who are not familiar with it. Go check it out. I adore Prison School so much that I was originally lying awake in the darkness of my room every night worrying about Prison School's upcoming anime adaptation due to no staff announcements. Why did they take so long? And then they announced Mizashima as director, and Mizashima leading an absurd comedy is as good as it gets. He's directed some of my favorite comedies and just shows in general, such as Jashiraku, Witchcraft Works, Girls in Panza, Squid Girl, Shirobako, and he even did some series composition and storyboarding for the original Genshiken. Basically, I want to have intercourse with this legend of a man. He has the magic touch. I trust him to be able to translate the manga's truly wonderful sense of humor over to anime form. And sure, it's somewhat immature humor, but it's immature in the most creative way possible. And that creativity never stops flowing from the river of ideas that birth crazy, over-dramatized nonsense every new chapter. It takes its own immaturity completely seriously. Her giant tits represent oppression, and it's actually really insightful. Sorry about that, but seriously, Prison School is genius. It uses its style to elevate the mundane, and creating a staggering contrast between the silliness of the conflicts and the seriousness of the execution makes for some of the best comedy I've ever experienced. Like most humor, it's bound to be hit or miss for everyone, but Prison School is a comedy that has no boundaries, and shackles any humor it attempts and makes that comedy its prisoner. And now it's taking us prisoner. Shot through the refreshing lens of country life and childlike innocence, Nananbiri is a true gem among the conventional nature of its fellow slice-of-life counterparts. It nails the rural, almost anachronic feel of the setting. This laid-back atmosphere led the hand of the writer, with its rich cast of characters coming almost immediately to life through the gracefulness of the setting taking a firm hold of the pen to write the story itself. It was at that point when the setting took over that the quaint countryside lifestyle and comical character interactions started to blend together fluidly, achieving a comfortable harmony and crafting an experience that was both soothing and entertaining. By the end of it all, I ended up getting quite attached to the characters, and this upcoming sequel has been in the back of my mind ever since. I never would have imagined 5 years ago when I first started watching anime that a show as simple as people living in the rural countryside just enjoying life would be one of my favorite upcoming shows. But I suppose being simple is Nananbiri's best charm. It aspires to be something simple and ultimately shines due to that simplicity. Subtle, reserved, laid back, deftly written, and basically about as warm as a show can be. The absence of complexity is the exact reason Nananbiri is so unbelievably compelling. After the first season's finale, fans pleaded to Tatsunoko Productions for a sequel, and Tatsunoko said, "I gotcha, man." Ayy! Gatchaman Crowns takes an ordinary superhero plotline and places it in a contemporary context to raise socially relevant questions. It covers everything from internet culture to the necessity of leadership to social responsibility to human nature, but it's mostly about the meaning of heroism in an age of gamification and social power. It balances this variety of compelling themes nicely by making use of the digital age setting. It makes its narrative about the rifts carved out by technology, about the passing of problems from one generation to the next, and how to reconcile them. In Crowds, there's no massive world-spanning conflict occurring, it's just normal people trying to adapt and live in a world that's constantly evolving with its technology. Because with new technology comes new issues, and with those new issues, we have our new season, Insight. The entire main staff from the original is returning, so I have no doubts it'll be the same passionate show I watched in 2013. And even with all of the statements and themes I mentioned before, Crowns infused these effortlessly without ever giving up its sense of fun and breezy, fast-paced narrative chock full of stylistic charm, defined by its superhero vibes and question of how identity is constructed in the digital age. Managing all of this into a single coherent narrative is difficult and the road can be a bit rough, but Gatchaman Crowns succeeded with it, and now it's time to watch it succeed again. Summer's began, the time to go outside and play, but screw that, we have anime to watch. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, I was a bit late, again, it happens, I'm sorry. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and all that jazz, maybe follow me on the Twitters for a more detailed look at my shit taste. And also, I usually don't do this, but here's a list of other shows that didn't quite make the cut this time around for different dumb reasons, that I think will probably be worth checking out during the summer season. Just pause to see it fully. Alright, that's it. Until next time guys, I'll see you later.